In today's video, we're going to be looking at the best hidden gems in Euro Fantasy 24. So if you're looking to gain that slight advantage over your mates, this is the video for you. Now, before we dive into the video, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, be sure to like, comment and subscribe as we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Also, if you want to join my mini league ahead of the Euro Fantasy season, the link for that will be in the description as well as the code as well on screen. So get yourself in that. If you are top at certain points, obviously the winner's going to get a big shout out as well on the channel and on my Twitter. So get yourself in that to have the chance of potentially getting a shout out from yours truly. Right, let's start off with defenders. I've not really gone through goalkeepers as I feel it's pretty self-explanatory. You're picking a first team goalkeeper. Nothing really kind of is going to stand out in that regard. Maybe a couple of 4 million goalkeepers I could have gone through, but I feel like a lot of people already know about them. So we're going to start off with defenders. Now this one at the top, Mittelstadt. Again, if I do pronounce any of these names incorrectly, please do ignore me. I am an Englishman and my pronunciation is not the best. But Mittelstadt from Germany, 4 million for him is an absolute bargain pickup. Have had a wonderful season with Stuttgart in the Bundesliga. 2 goals, 4 assists for him. As you can see, really good underlying data to go with that. And he's predicted by a lot of people to be Germany's starting left back for the tournament. Pretty good group for them as well. Germany obviously opening the tournament with Scotland. They have a 49% probability of keeping a clean sheet in that one. 45% probability of a clean sheet in match day 2 and a 38% probability in match day 3. So really, really good long-term pickup for the group if you're not potentially thinking about playing your chips. If you are still thinking maybe playing the wildcard or limitless in match day 2 as well, still pretty good fixture for them in match day 1. So for 4 million, getting into a top quality team with a strong probability of a clean sheet, that to me seems like an absolute no-brainer in my personal opinion. So I think he's going to be on a lot of people's radars, especially with that bargain bottom price, but I think a lot of the casuals won't know about it. So if you are looking for that edge over your mates in your mini league, he could be a fantastic pickup. Right, let's move on to my next defender. It is Christiansen. Now I've gone for him. I think Mailer could be a decent one. I didn't realise how low owned he was. He's currently recovering from an injury though, so might miss the opening game. We're going to have to see if he does feature in any of the friendly games, but he's a million more. We've gone with Christiansen at 4.5. He's cheaper than both Danish centre-backs who we are familiar with. Obviously, Christiansen and Anderson from Crystal Palace. He's 0.5 million cheaper. Has that slight edge over them in terms of attacking threat as well, playing at that left back spot. 3 assists for him this season. As you can see, the attacking data not overly impressive, but Denmark are predicted a 44% chance of getting a clean sheet in match day 1. So if you are looking for a nice cheap defender that could go potentially under the radar, he could be a great pickup for me in my personal opinion for match day 1. 4.5 million. Again, I don't think you could go wrong with that one. Next player is going to be one that I think the game have massively underpriced. It is going to be Jonathan Tah. He should be starting next to Rudiger as Germany's other centre-back. 4.5 million for him. Obviously was part of the Leverkusen squad that went unbeaten in the Bundesliga. 4 goals, 1 assist as well. I think he's an absolute steal at 4.5 million. I don't think it's worth spending that extra money on any of the other Germany defenders when you've got a player like Jonathan Tah available for 4.5 million. Again, could be worth the double up of Mittelstadt and Jonathan Tah in match day 1. And you can probably hold these guys throughout the course of the group stage if you're looking to delay some of your chips for later in the game. Moving on to a name familiar with Burnley fans and maybe some Premier League fans as well. It is Matheson. He's obviously been out on loan at Dortmund this season. 2 goals, 2 assists for him. Pretty okay-ish data. Again, Holland have a mixed group, but if you're looking for a player that has good fixtures in 1 and 3 with high probability of keeping clean sheets, then he's probably going to be your man. At 4.5 million again, does come in at amazing value in my personal opinion. And then finishing up is Wout Faes. I know a lot of us will know him from last season's FPL season where he did get 2 or 3 own goals for Leicester. Had a pretty solid year in the Championship. He does play in a back 3 for the Belgian national side, and again, they've got a pretty good chance of keeping a clean sheet in match day 1. Where are they? 46% chance probability, same as Netherlands. They're the third highest for that. Then a 43% probability in game week 2 and a 35% probability of a clean sheet in match day 3. So for 4 million, this guy could be a nice handy player to have on the bench, and if you need him to come in, maybe manually substituting him in, or maybe he just auto subs in as well, he could be a really nice, great little pickup there for 4 million in my personal opinion. Moving on to the midfielders, obviously there's a lot of high quality players in this position, but I still believe there are some gems going massively under the radar. We're going to start off first with Rodri. Now from an FPL perspective, a lot of people might be like, what the hell are you doing? Why is Rodri here? Well, let me tell you this. FPL point scoring and fantasy point scoring for the Euros differ. I'm just going to flash it up on screen right now. As you can see, you get a point for scoring outside the box and you get a point for ball recoveries as well. Rodri, very much a player who gets a lot of ball recoveries in games. He's also a player who has scored a majority of his goals outside of the box this Premier League season. As you can see with his 8 goals and 10 assists, both massively overachieving. And I think the main reason behind his massive overachievement in XG is the fact that he's scoring a lot of long-range efforts outside of the box. So I think he could be a nice tidy pickup. Now Spain's opening 2 fixtures, they are a little bit difficult, but he might get quite a lot of ball recoveries against excellent teams. So could be a nice tidy pickup at that 6.5 million mark. But for me personally, I prefer the guy who's second. It's going to be Çalhanoğlu. He obviously plays for Turkey. They face Georgia in their opening game, and you do expect them, you know, if they want to come second or maybe try and top this group, to be winning games like that against Georgia. They've got 1.5 predicted goals in that opening game. He's had a fantastic season for Inter Milan as well, as they did go on to win the Serie A. 13 goals, 3 assists for him. As you can see, really good underlying data, and he is a fantastic free kick taker as well. Takes a few corners as well, which is always something nice and handy. Fits into that talisman theory as well. So again, a big tick for me at 6.5 million. And if you are on the same strategy as me, maybe looking to hit that limitless in 2 and wildcard in 3, or the other way around, I can't remember which way it is. But yeah, I think he could be a fantastic pickup for match day 1. The next player is again another one that I do have in my team. It is Čakovec. Again, apologies, I'm not very good at pronunciations. He's from Georgia, 4.5 million, probably going to play on the right-hand side of a front 3. Again, not overly great stats from Watford this season, 1 goal, 3 assists, nothing really to kind of write home about, but for 4.5 million, if you're looking for a player who's probably going to feature, I've seen him in a lot of kind of predicted lineups for Georgia. If you are looking for a guy who is going to start at 4.5 million, maybe like me, you just need him for the bench. He's probably never going to leave the bench. I think he could be a little fantastic pickup at 4.5. That's all he's really useful for. A great enabler who is probably going to play as well for Georgia. Again, the fixtures, they're a little bit difficult, but again, it's 4.5 million. You can't really complain at that one. The next 2 are going to be more kind of familiar household names. It's İlkay Gündoğan at 7 million. I think that's an absolute steal for him if he is playing in that number 10 role. Germany are predicted to score 2.7 goals across the opening 2 fixtures and 2.6 goals in the final fixture as well. So some pretty good attacking data there for Germany as well. İlkay Gündoğan, a lot of us will have fond memories of him being in the Premier League and being available for FPL as well. 5 goals and 9 assists out in La Liga this season. Pretty good underlying data as well to go with that. Underachieving on both goals and assists, and maybe he's been saving it for the Euros. In a Germany team that obviously are the home nation, usually home nations do quite well. They progress unless they bought their way into World Cups or Euros. Hello, Qatar. But Gündoğan, I think, is a fantastic little decent pickup at 7 million. If maybe you're looking for one of those cheaper midfielders for the opening group fixtures, I think he could be a right little steal and a potential hidden gem in the game. Moving on to our final midfielder, and it's going to be Dominik Szoboszlai. I've seen him in quite a few sides already, so maybe not as big a hidden gem as I thought. But the reason I've included him in here, he is at 7 million, but he is Hungary's talisman. He takes the penalties, he takes the free kicks, he takes the corners. It's one of those players that in Euro games, it very much feels like, for me, like Xherdan Shaqiri a few years ago when he was popping off for Switzerland, where he would just be involved in everything and would just be the key danger man. That's what Szoboszlai is for Hungary. He's the key danger man. His data for Liverpool's been okay, not really kind of lit the world alight in his first Premier League season, but does play a completely different role with that Hungary national side. And like I said, he is their key talisman, so could be worth a little bit of a decent pickup. It's a difficult group, but games against Scotland and Switzerland are probably the ones that he is going to thrive in, so might be worth a little bit of a cheeky gamble. And finally, rounding off today's video, we're going to take a look at the forwards. Now, for me personally, I would not be recommending bringing any of these in. I think there is the perfect front three already in the game. It's Lukaku, it's Kane, and it's Mbappe. I think these guys are going to be on for the Golden Boot, and I don't think it's worth going without any of them. You've also got Cristiano Ronaldo thrown in the mix there as well. There's a lot of top quality forwards, so I think forwards might be the area not to go for hidden gems. But I think I might have found some that if you are thinking maybe none of these guys are going to do well, maybe, you know, you're fancying a KDB, someone like that in midfield rather than going for a Lukaku, then these guys are probably the top options to go for in my personal opinions. We're going to start off with Dubovnik. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's obviously had a fantastic season for Girona out in La Liga. 24 goals for him, 8 assists. He plays for Ukraine. They are obviously taking on Romania, one of the worst sides in the tournament in terms of FIFA rankings as well, in terms of odds rankings as well, right down there. So you would expect Ukraine to do quite well in that opening game, and he could be one of those little players that could thrive, could be a massive differential for you, and could absolutely slap it in match day 1. Has a really good fixture in game week 2 as well. So again, could be one of these differentials that could get you out the gate. Everyone else has got Lukaku, Kane, and who was the other one? Mbappe, obviously. This could be your differential. This could be your guy that goes under the radar and could absolutely mess shit up. He's my favourite. He is my favourite hidden gem if you are looking for a forward. Jeremy Doku's in here. Again, mixed season, down as a forward on this game. 7 million for him, 3 goals, 8 assists. I think I would try and rather get in Romelu Lukaku, but maybe if you're going for the KDB route, you know, Doku up front could be an option. He is going to play out wide, so I don't think he's going to be overly too useful, but I thought he might be a name that people recognise and maybe see him as a potential hidden gem. Again, it's whether or not he's going to play. He is down as a forward, so not going to get the points for clean sheets and 1 less for goals and assists, so could be a little bit of a ropey pick on that one. But I just thought maybe if you're fancying the double up of Belgian attackers, you've got KDB, you're wanting to look for that forward as well, Jeremy Doku could be that one. The second Georgia player to feature in today's video, maybe you're just going for the 2 forwards, looking for a cheap third option, then I believe that could be Miktuez or Miktuez. Again, apologies on the pronunciation. He's a forward who's had a fantastic second half of the season at Metz, on loan from Ajax. 13 goals, 4 assists for him since January. So pretty good stuff. I think he's only played around 18 or 17 games over the course of the season. So not a lot of game time, but comes into the tournament fine in form and could be a great little differential pickup on the bench. I think could do exceptionally well if you are looking to go for that 2 striker formation rather than the 3 up front. But he's there as just a nice cheap little option. And then the final one is Chiesa, obviously a player that exploded at Euro 2020. Obviously went on the back of that to go and play for Juventus. He's had an okay season out in Italy. 9 goals, 2 assists for him. The data's all right. A massive underachievement in terms of expected assists. The only reason I've got him in here is obviously Italy are playing Albania in game week 1. So if you did fancy going for an Italian attacker in your side, I think he's probably the one to go for. The other forwards, it's a little bit ropey. Who's going to play? Who's going to feature? I think Chiesa is nailed within that Italy side as well on the right-hand side. So I think he probably would be the one if I was looking to go for an Italy attacker with a strong fixture in match day 1. He probably would be the one. But in terms of forwards, like I said, I'm not overly keen. I think there's a perfect front 3 already out there of top hitters who take penalties, and I think all could have a good run in for the Golden Boot this tournament. If you did enjoy today's video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and if you want to get yourself in the mini league as well, that would be massively appreciated by me. But thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck this game week.